What's up, YouTube? So as promised, gonna be doing a full day of eating since everything has pretty drastically changed. As I mentioned before, I'm on a keto diet, so pretty much going zero carb. Like all the carbs I'm getting are like small amounts from trace carbs. There's no starchy carbs, there's no rice, potatoes, no nothing like that. Anything I get is kind of a little bit left over. Like I have one meal with green beans, like tiny bit of mushrooms, whatnot. Even trying to avoid all sauces that have it. So that means no more ketchup. That means no more peas. You know I love my peas. So that was a sad day, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So breakfast is as follows. I just cooked up some ground turkey. Got 100 grams of ground turkey and 5 whole eggs, and then a bunch of spinach and some mushrooms. So I have this meal twice, and I usually don't put the mushrooms and spinach in the second time, just in the morning. I do an attempt at an omelet, but I'm not very good at making them, so bear with me. But, because I know everybody's going to ask more and more about keto dieting, just to give you guys a little bit of knowledge on it while I cook. Keto diet, essentially, people think it refers to a low-carb diet, but it really refers to the system of energy your body uses to run off of. So everyone has this like knowledge that your brain can only run off glucose, which it mainly runs off glucose. It's all it can run when you're eating a normal diet, but can also run off these things called ketone bodies, which is what your body creates from fat. It's just another source of energy that your body breaks down fat and can create ketone bodies. Your brain can also run off that, and your body can run off that for energy. So the goal of a keto diet is to eat no carb, to the point where you deplete your glycogen, you deplete your glucose, and you run off ketone bodies. So your body just burning through the fat that you're eating, burning through the fat in your body, and using all that for energy. So there's quite a lot of benefits from a diet like this. It can help a lot of people with cravings, because sugar is a very addicting thing to the brain. Whenever you eat it, your body craves it. The more you eat, the more you crave. If you have a little bit, you'll crave it, etc., etc. So by completely cutting it out, your body kind of like forgets about it, doesn't need it. So it transfers over to using fats. And this also helps with your energy levels. It helps your energy levels stay a lot more consistent throughout the day, because your blood sugar is not going up and down. Just like we all know, every time you eat carbs, sugar, whatever, your blood sugar spikes up, your insulin spikes up, and you might have energy for a little bit, but then it drops down, it goes up and down throughout the day, you get moody, different kind of energy levels. So one thing I've noticed after getting much more into this diet is my energy's been much more consistent. But there is a downside, of course. You have much less endurance, I guess you could say. So my cardio has gotten much less intensity in it. So I do half an hour in the morning now, but it's a little bit of a more light intensity, because your body's doesn't have that direct glucose to come out. But your strength won't decrease, none of that stuff. I'm still strong. Intense workouts, just not quite as long. So I'm in the gym for like an hour max, kind of getting in what I need to do, lifting some heavy weight, and then getting out of there. And yeah, so another benefit of this is something I used to do, kind of similar to working with keto, but it helps keep your growth hormone at a higher level, because insulin is an antagonistic hormone for growth hormone. So we all know, as you sleep throughout the night, when you're in a fasted state, your growth hormone levels increase, which puts your body into a more fat burning environment. And when you wake up and you eat carbs immediately, it spikes your blood sugar, releases insulin, and that suppresses your growth hormone release. So by putting more insulin into your body like that, that's a fat storage hormone, insulin. So that will cause you to store fat. Whereas when you don't have that, your growth hormone stays higher. So you wake up in the morning, say you eat a high fat breakfast, your body's already burning through fat. There's no carbs in there, so your insulin levels don't increase. So you actually stay burning fat for a longer period of time, which is a bonus, absolutely. So another really important part of this diet is getting fats from the right sources. So you want to make sure you're getting your fats from mainly unsaturated fats. Like we all know, that's the healthiest kind of fat. So you don't want to be eating just like bacon and mayo all day. And there's two main kinds of unsaturated fats. There's monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats. So polyunsaturated fats are your omega-3s and omega-6s. So stuff like walnuts and your fish. So I have salmon in my meals, stuff like that. whereas monounsaturated fats come from stuff like avocado, macadamia nut oil. I put that on as I cook some of my meals, and these are the kind of fats that help lower your LDL, which is your low density lipoproteins. That's your bad cholesterol. So essentially this diet really helps you. Heart health comes a lot from your balance of your cholesterol, so your LDL to your HDL. We all know your HDL is the high density lipoprotein, which is the healthy cholesterol, and you want that ratio, the high HDL and the low LDL. So by eating these unsaturated fats, as well as your body using fat as a source of energy, so it's burning through it, your body's actually decreasing your cholesterol levels and making a much healthier heart. There's some other benefits I saw in this even. There were studies that show that cancer even mainly runs off of glucose in the body. That's the main source of energy. So by cutting out glucose in your body and running off ketone bodies, you can actually supposedly prevent spreading cancerous cells as quick, which is pretty crazy. They've even shown, due to the increased brain function and stuff, it can help Alzheimer's in the elderly, which is a huge problem that we've been having lately. Everybody's getting older, but our brains are all failing on us. So studies have shown that a keto diet can help with Alzheimer's and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, pretty hilarious change in tempo from before. Whereas I was having 1 egg in the morning and I got bread. I got 0 carb now and 5 whole eggs. So do my eggs taste better? Yeah, but do I miss that bread? Hell yeah. Abso-freaking-lutely. Like I said, I ain't no chef, so don't expect this to be a real omelet. More of a scrambled enchilada minus the cheese. But yeah, I really can't stress enough how important it is when you're doing a diet like this to avoid all trace carbs of any source. So if you're sick of veggies, stick to very leafy vegetables and limit green beans and don't eat peas and all that kind of stuff. And you got to be really cautious about sauces, even drinks and gum. Like if you're eating like 10 pieces of gum a day, like there's carbs in your gum. I hate to break it to everybody, but if you're eating like 10-20 pieces of gum in a day, you're eating 40 grams of carbs, like boom, there goes your keto diet essentially, because you really need to just completely deplete all carbs. And I know all the brainy people out there will come at me and be like, well, your body's going to turn the protein into glucose through gluconeogenesis in the liver, which is true in part and will happen regardless, but in such low levels that it should be negligible. Also, for the average person doing this diet, like if my parents were to do this diet, they would have much less protein than I am. But for a bodybuilder with a much increased level of protein synthesis in the body and much more need for it, we have higher levels of protein. So the average ratio for most people is like 5% carbs, which is supposed to just come from like by accident, and 20% protein and about 75% fat in the diet. So obviously I'm gonna have a higher level of protein because of bodybuilder and the training and my muscle mass, 240 some pound guy, you need more protein. But for the average person, you want to have like very minimal and just super high fat. I actually didn't do a half bad job making this, but the truth is I don't even care if it looks pretty. I'd rather it be cooked properly. Try to do with one hand. But shit, there you go, there you go. So also the eggs I use, I don't know really the science behind these, but they're more expensive eggs are the ones that advertise the omega-3. Like I mentioned, the polyunsaturated fats. And when you're eating this much eggs a day, and it's so crucial to be getting in the right sources of fat, buck up and buy the more expensive eggs. It'll be worth it in the end. Yeah. Oh, and don't think that saturated fats don't have a place in this diet. Obviously, I have a little bit of red meat and all that because, well, they help build like steroidal hormones in your body, like testosterone, which obviously helps, but they're kind of made from the bad cholesterol, or I guess whatever you call it, from some saturated fats. So definitely they have their place in the diet, 100%. You just want to get more sources from the unsaturated fat because you're eating so much, such a high quantity of it throughout the day. Boom. There you go. Not bad at all. Now for the sauce time. Like I said, important choice in sauces. Normally I'd cover this thing in ketchup, but today is going to be, if I can find it, we all know my sauce drawer is getting crazy. Got the Nando's. Probably go with that one. I got the medium this time instead of the garlic, and it's really hot. Go Nando's and mustard. We all know mustard is life. So meal number 2 is as follows. I got 180 grams of chicken breast. Well, 178, but it's close enough. I just throw that on the pan right there. And with this meal, I have 80 grams of avocado or guac and 15 grams of macadamia nut oil. So like I mentioned before, the beautiful unsaturated fats in the macadamia nut oil. This stuff tastes really good too, to fry stuff up with it. And the avocado, I use these things called holy guacamole. Ian's actually the one who gave them to me, so I know I'm allowed to eat them. But I just threw out the box, so I pulled it up online to kind of show you the nutrition values and whatnot of it. So if you're looking for the box or what it looks like, that's what it is, holy guacamole, and it comes in these mini packs and whatnot. And you can see here the ingredients are literally just avocados, vinegar, water, salt, you know, dehydrated onion, garlic, whatever. There's nothing added into it other than avocado really. And the nutrition, it's mainly fat. There's 3 carb, a little bit, pretty much all from fiber, so it doesn't even count, and 1 gram of sugar in it. But pretty good. I'm not really a big fan of avocados, so doing stuff like this helps me get that down. So pretty much the way I do it is I fry up the chicken here. I throw on a bunch of spinach on there. It shrivels up a little bit, and then I pour on the macadamia nut oil, fry that all up together, it gets all oily. Put it in a bowl, and then I add 80 grams of the holy guacamole. Just throw her all in there. Empty this box of spinach. So yeah, while that cooks, I have a few exciting things coming up in the relatively near future. Setting up kind of like a website and some cool stuff coming up on there, stuff you guys can buy, if you know what I mean. Pretty exciting. But for the time being, while that's getting made, I wanted to get some shirts made for the Olympia. So I just got back actually from a printing shop and got a quote, and I got a shirt made of the vector files and all the whatever, the logo and everything made. So if you guys are interested in something like that, comment below, let me know. It's not going to be something to make any money off of because I don't have a website to get everybody's stuff, so I'm going to be individually messaging everybody, getting their addresses, writing it all down myself. Shipping to the States is like $20 to ship a t-shirt to the States when you have a business account set up. So unless you guys want to be spending 50 bucks on a shirt, which I don't want to, or 60 bucks probably on a shirt, which I don't want to have to charge you, then it'd be ridiculous. So I'll probably try and get this first round of shirts out, just see if people like it. Probably not make any money off it, but if you guys enjoy it, then worth it. And in the future, get ready because we got some exciting things coming up. Oh yeah, comment below if you'd be interested in getting a Olympia limited edition shirt packaged and written by C-Bum. So as soon as the spinach starts to shrivel up like that and the chicken starts to get hot, I put the macadamia bottle here on the scale and I zero it with it on it. This is my trick because I don't want to actually measure it. And then so it's at 0 right now, and then I'll just kind of count the negatives. So I'll pour a little bit on there. And see, that's only 5 grams. Pour a little bit more. 13. I'm not too worried about I always go a little bit over here. Okay, not today. Today it equals 15 exactly. But sometimes I go a little bit over because obviously you're going to lose a little bit of residue on the pan as it cooks and whatnot. But I just let that fry up on a pretty high heat in the oil, and it really kind of gives it a nice oily texture, you know? Because usually in prep you don't get oily stuff, so at least I get my grease because I don't get my carbs. So once it's just kind of greased up, cooked up, and hot enough in there, dump her in the bowl. Dump her in the bowl. Make sure you get as much grease in there as possible. You don't want to be missing out. And since these packets are, I believe they're 57 grams in here, and I'm supposed to have 80, I obviously just weigh it, so I guess I can tell you now how much is in a full one. There's like 50 grams in one. So essentially you need 1.5 of these, and then I just store it in the fridge and use the other half tomorrow. There you go. Final product. Just kind of mash it all up in there. Might not look that appetizing, especially as I try and do this with one hand, but I'm not gonna lie, this meal tastes delicious, especially if you like guac. Which I usually don't like guac, but lately I've been liking it. So, what are you gonna do? Meal number 3 and pre-workout meal, keeping it real simple. Usually I make this into a salad, but today I'm being really lazy. That looks really bad, but I promise it tastes good. That is 200 grams of salmon and 31 grams of walnuts. Sometimes I make this into a spinach salad and whatnot. But it's pre-workout, and it's kind of less I eat, the better my stomach is. Just kind of get the food in less volume, and I'm not bloated or anything at all. Not that spinach would make me like that, but you know, I'm being lazy, okay? Just forget it. But the important thing is to eat walnuts and not other nuts. So a lot of people like eating peanuts and pistachios and stuff like that, and the truth is that all nuts kind of have a bit of sugar in them, but those have a lot more. I think per 100 grams pistachios have 8 grams of sugar, peanuts have like 4, and walnuts have like 2. So walnuts are probably the best nut you can get. So take that into consideration when you're doing diets like this, and even when you're putting nuts into your diet for the purpose of getting fat, understand that there's sugar in a lot of other ones, so walnuts are always your best choice. Tell me I'm not the only one who does this, but my mom used to get rattled at me for doing that. I always keep a plate and a cup right beside this thing, and she'd always be like, clean your plate, put it away. And I'm like, Mom, I'm about to eat again in 2 hours. Why would I clean my plate or put my plate away and then dirty another plate, you know? So, beauty of living alone, no one can talk shit, get mad at you for keeping your plate out, because I'm going to use it again anyways. Probably one of those lazy guy things where you just don't want to put it away, so you use it again. But, yeah, something I laugh at still every time I see my plate out. I'm like, Mom, you can't tell me to put that away anymore. But, moving on from that, post-workout meal is top sirloin steak. So I'm going to make a little salad out of this probably. I have 200 grams of top sirloin steak, and I'll probably put some spinach in there and some salad. Kind of chop it up in there, but very simple. All I put on this is Montreal steak spice, the classic OG, really can't be beat on steak. It's like a peppercorn steak almost, but I mean, I guess it is a peppercorn steak. But I love that spice. I put that on all my beef when I make it. High in sodium too, which I don't think I mentioned this earlier when I was ranting about the benefits of keto diet, but one of them is loss of water. So like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I was holding on to a decent amount of water, and another reason that keto is helping me is obviously you're depleting your body of all glucose and glycogen, and I'm pretty sure a glycogen molecule stores about 3 to 4 grams of water. I could be wrong on that number, but it's something like that. And glucose obviously causes you to hold on water. So once you deplete yourself of glucose because your body's running off the ketones, your body flushes out a lot of water out of your body. And which is another reason people think they're losing a little more fat than they are, because you drop the water weight. But still a good thing, but important that you stay hydrated and get in your electrolytes. So make sure when you're on a keto diet, if you find yourself feeling dehydrated or peeing a lot, losing a lot of water, whatever, make sure you're getting enough sodium, potassium, just stay hydrated and get your shit right, you know? Also, I snack on these while I cook. Good old bikini girl snacks. Celery, it's only like 2 grams of fiber that's in them, so I have like 5 of these while I'm cooking, because honestly, it tastes like candy at this point. I'm so hungry. Gotta love it.
Anyone else like to say?
Moment of truth. I like my steak pretty raw, so let's hope it's slightly red in there still. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Not too bad. I'll try to film with 0 hands here. Not too shabby. There she is. Gonna chop that up, put it in a nice little salad with probably mustard on it, and because I can't really have any sauce, and call it a night. So meal number 5, kind of boring. Pretty much already made it, but I'm being lazy, so being much more simple this time. But again, it is 100 grams of ground turkey and 5 whole eggs. So I'm literally just gonna heat up the ground turkey on there and then scramble the eggs in there. No spinach or mushrooms this time, or attempt at an omelet, because it's late and I'm lazy. Very, very, very lazy. But because that's not exciting, I'm gonna show you some really exciting email that I just got, if I can find it. Where are you? Assistant Fus is his name, who emailed me. Let me just show you this whole conversation, because it gets pretty exciting. It's short, but let's see if that can load. So boom! How exciting is that? Chris, you're getting your account verified. Sweet, right? So obviously I reply, yeah, but do I need to give you my password in order to get it? He replies, yes, you can do that. Assistant. That sounds very professional. Yes, you can do that if I like to. Okay. Wow, cool. Let me just send you all my personal info as soon as possible. My reply. His reply, thank you. And a bunch of Tahina Did Chris Bumstead and accents on that. So how exciting is that? Kid's getting the verified badge. I'm probably gonna send him my credit card info too, you know? Why not? I think I'll probably have to pay for it, so I'll send him my bank info, my social security number, all that good stuff. But yeah, I know. Sad. This is what my life comes to. I fucking troll emails that I know are fake. That's how bored I am. But for everyone else who gets the emails, watch out, because I get a lot of them. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, obviously. But there's a lot of scams going around that pretends like it's from Instagram. And, well, the truth is, Instagram doesn't verify people right now. Those people that you see who have it have an in or a connection, or they're Justin Bieber or Dwayne Johnson, and they're hella famous. So, forewarned, if you get that, it's probably fake. And don't give them your info, because I feel like we've been hearing a lot of people have been getting hacked on Instagram lately. And I have this slight feeling in my mind that a lot of them fell for that trick and were a little ignorant in thinking that they deserved their verified badge, and they kind of gave their info away to some random Assis Fuhan and lost their account. So, fair warning. So this is the last meal slash snack, I guess you would call it. I call it a snack because it's small, as all my meals are, but it is essentially 40 grams of protein. I got that MHP protein here, and then it's 20 grams of nut butter. I went with almond butter because I just like that taste better, and then 20 grams of walnuts as well. So I make this in a few different ways. Tonight I'm doing like the icing I make, or the pudding, whatever you want to call it. So I just put a scoop in here, or put 40 grams in the cup, and then a little bit of water, and you mix it up till it's thick. And then I add the peanut butter in there, and I kind of mix it around, and I eat the nuts separately. But other times I'll make like a what do you call it? I'll put ice and protein and make ice cream, protein ice cream, and then I'll either put the peanut butter in there after and just kind of, it'll freeze up and I'll eat it like that, or I'll put the peanut butter on celery because that tastes really good. I'll cover celery in the amount of that I get, but for now, pudding. I always store my protein sideways and lose the scoop. Here she is. That was more than 40. There you go. So the trick to this, if you didn't see my last video of me trying to make this, is just to add as little water as possible at a time. I just let this thing like drip, and like put a splash, and then stir. Put a splash, and stir. And you see it gets to kind of that consistency because there's such a minimal water in it. I really like doing this with vanilla because I've always liked vanilla pudding. So do that. Clean your spoon as any good baker does. Can you turn my sink off because you guys get real mad. I never gotten so many hate comments than when I accidentally left my sink on. And you'll quickly realize the more videos you watch. When I'm videotaping and trying to talk to the camera, I'm awful at multitasking. So whenever I'm like losing my track trying to cook something, losing my track of thought, as I am right now, it's very difficult because I'm handicapped. But yeah, so just add in there you go. Perfect. A little bit under, but I got some on my spoon. So I'll eat that. You can see in there, it's not a lot, but you mix the peanut butter around with the protein, and it gives you a nice little peanut butter pudding vanilla taste, and it's quite good. And then the walnuts all way out after. You don't need to watch me eat that. But yeah, so that is the finale of today's full day of eating. I ranted quite a bit about the keto diet at the beginning, obviously because it's a much new diet and there's kind of a lot to know about it. It's a lot I need to learn about it too. Just kind of getting started out with this. It's not something I'm necessarily going to do for the rest of my prep, but right now with what we're utilizing to kind of burn as much fat, get me as lean as possible. And I'm not saying it's the best way to diet, the best way to lose fat, but for me it has worked in the past, and it's something we were using to try and get my water off, like I said, and to try and get really shredded. What I absolutely do recommend this for is for people like if your parents are trying to lose weight or stuff like that. It's definitely an easy way to kill cravings and a good way to like burn fat, absolutely. Also, implementing it into your off season for like 2 weeks even or up to a month can really help, like all the benefits I said, the heart health, all that stuff. It can increase your insulin sensitivity, of course, because you're not having constant glucose going through your body, so your insulin sensitivity actually goes up. So when you reintroduce carbs, your body just sucks it up and uses it all really well. So when you're having a really high carb diet in your off season, your body just starts to kind of be saturated with it. It's good to switch it up, do something like this. And yeah, so that's all she wrote, and I will see you next time. Peace. Oh, and of course, as always, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe.